According to a January 2025 Bankrate survey, 56% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. Bro, what? I mean, that's crazy. 56%. That's more than half of the population. If you happen to fall into that category, don't worry, it's not too late. You can save 10K pretty quickly. And I'm going to give you 7 tips that's going to help you get there as fast as possible. And if you stick around, I'm going to tell you why once you save those 10K, it's going to change your life forever. So let's break this goal down, right? We got our 10K, let's assume 12 months. That's relatively fast in the grand scheme of things. So if you break it down by month, that's $833 per month. Now, if you get paid bi-weekly, that's $385 per paycheck. And lastly, for my government/military folks who get paid on the 1st and the 15th, you're looking at roughly $417 per paycheck. Conversely, if you have the ability and if you want to, you can also break it down into a 6-month goal. It would look like $1,667 per month. If you get paid bi-weekly, it would be $769 per paycheck. And lastly, for my military/government workers, it would be $834 per paycheck. The reason we break this down, guys, is because you're looking at this number and you're thinking 10K, it's such a big number, it's so far away. So when you break it down, you make the goals and you make the numbers a little bit smaller, it seems more manageable. And over time, you accumulate every single little step. Every single time you save, next thing you know, you've got 10K. Now, one thing I want to point out, guys, is that this is not going to be easy. It is going to require sacrifice on your end. It's a must, but it's well worth it in the end. Because like I stated earlier, that 10K is going to change your life. So the first tip, I think it's the most important, is you need to establish a budget. This is going to allow you to determine how much money you got coming in versus how much money is going out. Without actually seeing that on paper, you're not really gonna know where you're gonna want to cut or where you need to cut expenses so that you can get that extra money so that you can save that 10K fast. So for me, I do a weekly budget. I've been doing it since October 2023, and it's definitely opened up my eyes and made me cut and maybe second guess on whether or not I need something. Also, guys, for the budget, I would recommend that you do at least 30 to 60 days because that's going to give you a pretty good idea of where your money is going. At the very least, though, do 30 days. It'll give you some sort of idea. And then you can kind of determine how much money you have left over to put in towards your 10K or how you can accumulate that $833 per month. And if you're interested, guys, like I mentioned, I've been doing a budget since October 2023, and I'm giving away the budget sheet that I use personally. It's nothing fancy, but if you want it and you're interested, I have it linked down in the description below, and it's absolutely free. So feel free to download that and use it, personalize it however you want to. At least it's a good start for you to be able to track and budget your expenses. So the second tip I'm going to give you is once you've done that 30 to 60 day budgeting and you have a good idea of what's coming in versus what's going out, this is where you actually start to take a peek and you look and see, all right, where can I cut some expenses down? Maybe I can cut down on going out to eat. Maybe I can cut down on buying coffees every day. You'll be surprised how much money we actually spend in what you may deem as just other category. I mean, so much money. And again, like I mentioned before, just seeing this on a spreadsheet or on a paper, these numbers written down, it's going to open your eyes and you're going to realize where you're overspending and where you know you can cut back. It's generally pretty easy to see that and you're like, okay, I can do without this, do without that. The other thing it's going to allow you to see is whether or not you're paying for subscriptions that you weren't even aware that you're paying for anymore. You know, when I first started budgeting, I definitely ran into some of that where I looked and I was like, when I thought I stopped paying for the subscription and I truly wasn't. And so I didn't pick that up until I actually started budgeting. And so now I know exactly where my money is going and I know exactly what subscriptions I have and what subscriptions I don't use. The next tip is, let's just say you don't want to compromise your current living situation or your lifestyle. So the other thing that you could potentially do to save a little bit of money is shop around on cell phone, on insurance, maybe asking your credit card company if they can lower your interest rate. See, all of these things that you can do that could potentially help you save some money anywhere that you can. I mean, if you just do a little bit of shopping around for car insurance, I'm sure you'll find a better rate. Same thing for a phone, right? Rather than spending $100, you can probably spend something like $17 on some of these other phone companies that are out there right now. So there's definitely ways for you to cut and look to see where you can slim down some of your expenses. Okay, so once you've got that all taken care of and you know you're saving money, so how do you do this? How do you make this easier for yourself? So the easiest thing that you could do is you automate this. And the way that you do that is every time you get paid, right, you set up an automation to whatever it is, your account or whatever other account that you have, or wherever you set aside your money, you have that automatically deducted before you pay anything else. So meaning everybody probably has a direct deposit, right? So you can allocate X amount into a separate account or wherever it is that you choose to do, but you allocate it and it automatically comes out. This is gonna do a couple things for you. One, it's gonna be basically out of sight, out of mind, so you're not even gonna see it, so it's like you never had it, but it's actually going to your savings, and that's a good thing. Number two, you don't actually have to think about it. It's just there for you. You don't have to actively remember to go in and say, I have to move this money here. So it's already automatically gone and set aside. Now you can pay the rest of your bills and everything else that you need for the month. And let's just say that after you did all of this budgeting, you still don't have the money, or you still are short on cash and you exhausted all potential methods that you can for cutting down as many expenses as you can. Well, the next tip is get a side hustle, right? And this could range from anything from finding things in your house that you're no longer using and selling them on eBay, or selling them on Facebook Marketplace, or maybe even going thrifting at a thrift store and then flipping it again on Facebook or eBay. It's springtime here in the Chicagoland, so you could do things like gutter cleaning, window cleaning, cleaning a yard, getting it ready for spring. Just little things like that that you can do to gain extra cash. You can even do like pizza delivery driver. All of these little side hustles are gonna bring in extra cash that you can put towards your 10K savings. And the last tip that I'll give you is open up a high yield savings account. So with a high yield savings account, you're gonna get a better percentage rate, typically somewhere around 3 to maybe 4.5% these days as of March 2025. This is going to give you a much better rate than your bank does. So holding your money in a traditional bank account is not recommended because you're getting pennies like at the month. You guys ever get that 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cent at the end of the month? Yeah, that's the interest that they gave you. That's nothing. Where conversely, in my high yield savings account, I'm currently getting 3.7%. And I'm not going to get that money anywhere else. So that's where my money is sitting so that it can accumulate interest. Sure, it's not a lot if you don't have a lot to begin with, but after time, that compound interest really adds up. That percentage return, that interest that you're earning on the amount of money that you have in the high yield savings account can really make a difference and can help you get to the 10K quicker than what you originally planned for in your goal. Now, before you guys go out and open up a high yield savings account, I've linked a website below in the description that shows the best high yield savings account for 2025. And I think all of them are FDIC insured. Some of them do require a minimum on balance and some of them do have monthly fees, but take a peek at that link, go do your research, figure out what works best for your situation, and go ahead and open up that high yield savings account and start putting your money in there so you can start earning some of that interest. So just with those tips, guys, that's going to help you earn 10K relatively fast. Now, how are you thinking, how is this going to change my life? It's just 10K. It doesn't seem like a lot. But if you think about it, right, we started at making a budget, which maybe some of you were or were not doing, but that's going to teach you a habit. That teaches you discipline to stay on top of your finances, to actually second guess and think, and it empowers you to continue on with your goal. Once you've accumulated and you've implemented these steps and you've accumulated that 10K, it feels empowering. You're like, wow, I can't believe I actually did this. And it doesn't seem like such a daunting task for the next financial goal that you may have, or any other goal for that matter in your life. So what this does for you is it changes your mindset to think like, okay, I can save 10K. So that 100K isn't out of reach. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, you're going to continue to sacrifice, but now you have the discipline, you have the habits, you have some financial literacy so that you can understand and continue to move forward. Because the truth of the matter is, at the end of the day, guys, nobody's going to take care of you like you are. So the sooner that you realize that this is for your benefit and your family's benefit, the better off you're going to be, and you're going to be able to continue on with this path moving forward. So yeah, that wraps it up. Those are my tips to getting 10K fast. If you found any value out of this video, please like and maybe consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. It would mean so much to me. And if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And with that all being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.